Hello and well met, people of dice. I am Rurik, and you're listening to Probability of Demise. I don't know. That's
when I suggested background music, that wasn't what I had in mind.
Oh, well, now I'm just going to do my own sound effects. And like every time Jess starts going, I'll do background music for her.
That's our new theme song.
The background music for Jess will be... What? Huh?
Our new theme song, Rurik's Mouth Music.wave.
I just really quickly, before I get into the introduction and actually getting on to what we're actually supposed to be doing, Jess, what would your background music sound like for your character?
Ooh. Definitely like spa music.
Spa music. I love it.
Yeah.
Larissa. Larissa's broken?
Does anybody else's voice sound really robotic?
Your voice sounds very robotic to me comparatively to how it was a second ago.
You sound fine to me. I don't know.
Jason sounds fine. Wait, hold on. Okay. Say it again.
Oh, you sound normal now.
Now it's gone.
Better. You had like a lag spike or something. That was awesome. Well, lag spike or not, I definitely don't feel like your character would have theme music of a robotic nature. But what would, Larissa, your character's theme music be?
I said spa music.
Like I'm picturing like a harp and a harpsichord in like some sort of major scale for Jess at this point.
Maybe like raindrops falling off of gems, kind of a thing.
They got one of those like one awkward, annoying sound of music sort of instrument, like a didgeridoo sort of style thing, except it's only played so every once in a while. Yes, you have the overtones from the Tibetan ringing bowl. I had one of those, but I think I didn't make the move with it. Megan says,
I could have seen that as something that you decided to send off with a friend. Pardon me.
I thought that was one of those bowls. I thought you were going to go and ta-ting.
Yeah, you gave it to me. No, I would have taken it because I've wanted one.
I think I have it somewhere. I don't know what I did with it, but I loved that thing. Asher's theme music, Jason, do you have any ideas?
I don't know, but it probably has electric guitars in it.
I wasn't sure which way you would go because I could see like the electric side, but I could also see like a full-on beatnik moment of just like embracing poet culture.
Yeah, it could be like a folk song.
All right.
Maybe there's a folk song of Asher the Hero that is his entrance music.
I want my theme music as the GM to just be something really peaceful and deceptive. Like it starts off like all those great 80s rock songs where it's like, we love you and we're gonna make you smile.
Wait, I've got it. Brave, brave Sir Asher. Sir Asher ran away.
Oh, God. Pain. Well, as you can tell, we're a group of storytellers playing a nerdy game, and apparently we're becoming musicians now too. I mean, two people are like legit full-time musicians in their own right, but the other two of us are just hot messes.
The other two. This one and that one.
No,
that one.
That one and that one.
No.
I'm not a musician. I'm a hobbyist.
Jess, you sing professionally and get paid for it. Larissa gets paid to sing. She was rock band person. She is choral queen.
Yeah,
I mean Jason does it, but Jason does it in like the same vein I would do music of like, I'm standing up here, but if my voice
makes more
goes
sense
out,
because I thought you were talking about me, and that didn't make sense when you said two people. I'm like, I sing in a choir that don't pay me, but all right.
Join another band.
Ooh, I guess I just did a little voice acting thing recently that I got paid for that was musical in nature, but I don't count that as music. It was.
Jess, you want to start a band with us? We'll call it Probability of Demise.
Yeah, I can play a solid
in a band together.
That's what I got.
Hey. There is nothing wrong with playing a mad tambourine. That's all I'm saying.
I got a tambourine. A bell.
I can
triangle,
I can play the most annoying instrument I've ever met, the ocarina.
I like the ocarina.
I do too, but it's also annoying. People get really tired of you playing the stinking Link.
That Princess Zelda girl was on, what was it, X Factor?
We are a group of storytellers playing a nerdy game using chance and our imaginations to provide rules and structure to Atland, a world of our own making. Atland exists on a very different version of Earth, thousands of years into the future, maybe. A planet left vulnerable by science and infected with magic. I like the infected with magic part that I changed that to. It makes it sound like it's like a blah. Ooh, people watching the Last of Us recently and actually seeing the cordyceps.
I'm starting that tonight.
Ugh.
Yeah, we watched the first one.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, definitely catch up. This is a world far different from the one you know today. Continents have shifted and cities have arisen and new creatures and people of varied origin dot the wondrous landscapes. Thank you for coming with us as we explore it together. All right. So
Stay on target.
Kind of already done this, but we're going to go ahead and introduce characters and then we'll get to any announcements we have. I know that we have merch and choral things coming up, which is really exciting. We'll hit the word of the day and then we'll roll for commercials, which is something we do. Maybe we should have 2 rolls now and like everybody rolls whether or not they're going to write the commercial.
It
and then we'll roll.
Do you
for
want
the
it to be
recap.
good?
No, that's part of the point. They're supposed to be slightly, I mean, they're funny, but it could be like tragically funny.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I can't intentionally write something badly. Like, it could just end up being bad, but I can't write something with the intention of it being bad. Because I can't even write something with the intention of it being good. I feel like you need to be able to do that and then to be able to recognize that it's good and then you know it when it's bad. Because if you don't know,
Larissa
then
is
it's
using her veto power right now and just saying nope.
I'm just saying, like, I could certainly take a stab at it, but
Ooh, would you be willing to? Would you be like a D4 willing to try?
A D4, like, as in we each have a number?
Sure.
I guess I am if Jess is.
Jess, would you be willing to try to write a commercial?
Sure.
You were my last bastion of hope. That's okay.
You know what? This
You
year it's
shouldn't-
about extending my horizons. Why not?
Oh,
Good
that's
for you.
a great plot and plan. Well, as you extend your horizons and your hopes and dreams and wish for a verdant ground upon which to grow all things, I'm going to pop up our little thing so that it's easy for people to know who and where and what and why. But these are our roles. I am acting as the game mechanic. I'm going to switch it from master to mechanic. There's no mastery in this. But let's start off with Jess. Jess, what is your character? What do you do? Where are you from?
Hello. I am Jessica. I am playing and voicing and making decisions for Tanzanite. She is a tall, gorgeous, elven cleric who is figuring out what it means to be the goddess of death.
Small things. Trixie, aka Larissa. I almost called you Larixie. I don't know.
Larixie.
I like that. That could be your next character. I'm Larissa. I play Larixie.
God.
Well, go after a red dragon today and we'll see what happens.
No one said that was going to happen. Last I remember, we were trying to hide. Anywho, my name is Larissa. I play Trixie. She is a monk who, likes to hit stuff in fast sequential order and usually with a little bit of oomph behind it. And she's a 3-foot tall anthropomorphic red squirrel.
That pretty much sounds like all the fun in the world. Which, by the way, I've discovered because I'm trying to. Jess was talking about adding writing as maybe a new horizon for expanding. I've been trying to add art.
Ooh.
Fur's really hard to do. I don't get how to do fur. Asher is played by Jason. Jason, would you like to introduce your person?
I play Ashificus Laconius. And no, I play Asher Lake, and Asher is a bard who grew up in a tavern, and now he is traveling the world with his friends, picking fights that he should not be picking. And all his spells are powered by haiku. The end.
And all his spells are powered by. Isn't that a haiku in itself almost?
No, not even close.
Not this time. Last time it was.
Yeah. Well, we are. What?
I should write a bunch of haikus for Asher's intro every week.
Oh. Just add another layer of complexity to the whole joyfulness. Well, with all of that said, we are now on to our announcements.
You or me?
Rochambeau for it. Parchment Boulder Spears.
On 3 or after?
Did you just say spears?
I'm confused.
Spear be track.
I mean, I think you meant to say shears.
Yeah, I meant to say shears.
On 3 or after 3? You.
Who?
With the
Me?
face.
Jason, yeah. Jason's the merch man.
What? Oh. Sorry, I thought you were talking to Rurik.
No. On 3 or after 3?
After.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
This is awkward.
You win.
My high fives.
I speared you. I speared your paper.
Yeah, I guess that also works.
But
so does that mean I go first or you go first?
I think that means that the scissors decides.
Okay, so we have merch.
We overcomplicate everything.
Yeah, we're super prepared for all things.
Hey, whose idea was this?
We have merch. Here's our storefront. I am putting it in the comments, and you can find it in the show notes as well. We have t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of things with our logo on them. Just if you want to rep the podcast and at your job or your school or your life or your con or your bar or your vehicle. I don't know. Anywhere.
Lots of colors too.
Anywhere that podcast can be repped.
Yes. Rep widely.
Okay. My announcement is, as a reminder, the upcoming Stonewall Chorale concert is March 25th, which is a Saturday at 7:30 p.m. at Church of the Holy Apostles, which is in New York City on 28th Street and 9th Avenue on the west side, Chelsea neighborhood. The chorus will be performing a piece called Considering Matthew Shepard. It is a passion piece. It is, it discusses and, well, not discusses it, it obviously musically discusses the events leading up to, during, and after, the murder of Matthew Shepard, which took place in 1998, I think we established last time. And so, like I only knew about it because I have a painting teacher who is doing a series. Long story short, I know about it through him. I think a lot of people my age and younger, which is between 30 and 35 and younger, don't necessarily know Matthew Shepard's story. So if you support the LGBTQ community or are a member, you should come. It will be very intense, so please keep that in mind. Do whatever you need to do if you are to come to protect your mental health. But I think it's important that these stories are told. And a lot of the time, one of my favorite quotes is that music begins where words end, which basically, is that when words fail, music picks up the torch. So it's a very, very profound piece. And if you are interested, you can find information about tickets at stonewallchorale.org/buy-tickets. If you aren't in the New York City area, but you would like to support the chorus to, let them continue to do stuff like this, you can find the spot to donate on the same website, stonewallchorale.org.
And yeah.
No. Just,
Oh, and I just realized I actually had an
Oh,
announcement.
now it's doing the thing again. Am I spiking?
No.
nobody hears it. It's just you.
It's all in your audio. I don't know. I do have an announcement that I
Can you
forgot.
hear me?
that
I am a
have.
robot.
And that announcement is I have been hunting for more resources, more diverse resources to help strengthen my ability to GM and DM for different things. And I'm always constantly kind of in that hunt. And I think I knew about this trio, and I think they're more than a trio now, a long time ago, but I just started re-listening to their podcast called Three Black Halflings. And I really dig what they do because they are basically sharing how to make a diverse world in like their early podcasts. And then they kind of, from there, actually become a full-on actual play podcast in addition to providing some really seriously cool and useful tips and tricks for those who are GMing. So if you're at all interested in them, I will be posting a link to their link tree. And I really, really valued their work. They've really been useful in helping me examine the worlds that I create. So very cool people. Any other announcements? I think that takes us to Jess's favorite part of the day.
I was hoping you were going to say that to be a better GM, you're going to wear costumes for every NPC now, but never mind.
Oh, somebody actually in one of the other podcasts I was listening to recommended that as an alternative to voices. If you didn't feel comfortable doing voices, have like hats and weird props that you just like switch into.
Costume pieces.
I'm just imagining one of the more recent NPC to NPC conversations that I've had to do and being like, I don't know who I am.
I'm fun. I'm a fae. I'm fun. I'm a fae. I'm fun. I'm a fae.
I think the answer to this is obvious.
This is my fun hat. This is my fae hat.
Hand puppets.
But see,
All NPCs need a hand puppet now.
I think puppets are cool until they're like lifeless in your space and then they just stare at you creepily.
They could just be sock puppets, and then you can just fold them in a drawer when you're not looking at them.
Drawer puppets.
I mean, if you need a puppet for every NPC, that's not a financially viable hobby, so I think it has to be sock puppets.
Yeah, I have a hard enough time trying to keep up on the stinking little miniatures when we did live. So, nope. That's a big nope for me. And then those random encounter NPCs would just kill me. Jess, please save me from this conversation with our word of the day. Word of the
Day. Word of the day. So, today's word of the day. I always have to listen to it because I always get nervous. Even if it's a simple word, I'm always like, gotta listen. All right. Today's word of the day is a noun, and it is stratagem. A trick in war for deceiving and outwitting the enemy. It's also a clever trick or scheme. Stratagem.
And
I have a question. So if we're still in the story, like does Larissa still have a D100 from using?
Yes.
Okay.
I
don't know if those expire.
I experienced a bunch of hate mail afterwards.
From whom?
Me.
Younger members of my own family who apparently listen to this podcast, which is making me really nervous about some of the words that I've said on this podcast.
Shush.
You better watch your fucking mouth. There's kids listening to this, Rick. God damn it.
Oh, no.
They give me a hard enough time about like getting exercise in and other miscellaneous things. I mean, one of them right now is currently playing Minecraft and saying, "Are you ready to go? Are you ready for the show? Your show's starting now." They don't watch it live though. Their parents don't let them. Thank you, parents.
Just enough time for you to bleep out all the things I just said.
So yeah, I got some angry emails from angry texts. They're very
That's
cute.
so funny. I mean, it's up to you, yeah. But
No, it's not up to me. The mini GMs have spoken. You have a D100 to use at some point for some ridiculousness that you will create on your own. I can only hope that you roll like a full-on Nat 100 or something like that, so it can just truly be outrageous. But outrageousness exists, and stratagem is our next possible inspiration
Word of the
mode.
day.
It's actually a pretty useful one. I will not accept strategery.
Oh, wait, look what I just did. Just found a
dang
new
it.
feature.
What? Huh?
We have a short link now.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
Oh.
That is so convenient. We're easily distracted by anything
Yeah.
today.
Oh,
And
just today?
it's a rarity. We're very focal people. It's 12:21, so let's roll for commercial. Grab your D20s, and whoever rolls highest reads it or decides if they're reading it or decides it or whatever it is, and whoever rolls
3:21,
lowest
don't
has
lie.
to take the consequences of the actions of the other person.
It is 21 after the hour.
Oh,
10.
3.
thank God.
Yes.
6.
2.
Ah!
Just whistling.
Wait, did I win?
You did win.
So you get to choose or choose.
Okay, I will.
Choice or choice? Which one?
Cake or death.
Cake, please.
Topic or reading, right? I'm gonna say topic. How about a magical item, like a custom magical item that stops you from having a hangover when you're in the tavern too late?
So it's an item that's like a hangover cure.
It's like a legendary item.
An item or a potion or those pills you take that don't actually work.
I like it better if it's an item because I feel like, there's probably like hangover cure potions and whatever, but like it's like a cap.
Maybe it has
Or
weird
something.
side effects like a prescription medication.
Nope, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
All right.
Nope.
So I'm not writing that, or we're all rolling
I think we
right
have
now?
to. I think so. Everybody has a number.
Yeah, I was gonna have everybody.
All right, I can roll
take
my
a number, and
giant
whoever
D4.
last. Yeah, I think since you've written so many of them, but I think in the future it'll be whoever last wrote gets to roll it,
Okay.
and we can just number ourselves across the screen, or do we do backwards, or
Jason
I'm
1,
3.
Rorik 2, Jess 3, Larissa 4.
Okay.
okay?
Don't be 3.
4.
Whew.
How did I fucking know?
You get to write your own script, though. That's so lucky. You have full creative control.
Well,
Minus the
Jace gets
topic.
to walk the dogs.
Something fun comes out of everything. All right. So now we are into our recap space. And this is a little bit rougher because it has been 2 weeks, a whole 2 weeks. So glad Jess is back, but it's not going to be me.
I
rolled a 17.
had small things in my throat just going.
The goblins came. Let's go down there and dig in.
8.
How?
4.
Jess, what did you get?
I got wait. 13.
Jason has the recap.
I have all new dice this week, and it's still happening to me. Like I put away. All my dice are in jail from last time.
What about the one that you were using last week?
It was so hot last week. I'm afraid to use it this week. That doesn't.
Then when are you going to use it?
I don't know. Never again. Let's throw them away when they're good for a week.
Now you sound like Rurik.
And I
Okay.
have some serious dice issues.
I have them
and
here.
Jason
We'll
might
see
have
if
picked it up.
any of these new dice aren't paying off. I have last week's dice still sitting here.
Okay.
So we left. We
left-
started off.
Last time on probability of demise. We came out of the basement thing. No,
Yes.
we came out of the bunker and there was a big puddle of lava all around, but that used to be the base of the fleet people. Oh, they have a name. I can't remember. That was so long ago. The sea Gadabouts, the sea something too. There was something I don't remember.
Different terms depending on how you interpret what they said.
But yeah, they used to be there, and then they were gone, and the floor was lava, and we couldn't move. So then Asher made a rain cloud, which rained and started to cool everything off, but it wasn't going fast enough. And there was a red dragon like sleeping in the lava, and then Asher turned into a rock and broke through the building and carried everyone away to a better place to fight the red dragon. The red dragon didn't really want to fight, and then we enticed it to fight anyway, and then it fried our faces off a few times, and I failed every dragon fear roll for 2.5 hours, and then we lost and ran away, and then we were near the Bog Witch's place and went past because it was still following us, but I think that we were stealth.
Went invisible.
Yeah, like we were invisible, and then Jess did like her spell of
image thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mirror image and like or whatever, and sent a distraction thing in a different direction. I think the second one succeeded and the first one failed, right?
Yeah, the distraction one didn't quite succeed, and then the second thing you attempted was successful.
Yeah.
Which I'm really glad that I don't have the recap because I couldn't remember exactly what happened in the second round. But there you are, and I'm going
if it
to
didn't succeed, it did now. So hey,
I'm going to take a little moment here. Ooh, zooming in on myself on accident. And we will be right back after this transition. And we're back, and I'm on the screen just in time, racing across my own space to get...
I didn't even see you leave. Last I looked at the screen, you were still in there, so you are...
I'm fast like ninja.
Works the flash.
Like monk.
Don't tell anyone.
I am the monk. I have a speed of...
Try again.
Hey, Rick, you already pushed that button.
yeah. That's what happens when you have something in your hands and you decide to just drop it on the screen or on your keyboard. It's so pathetic. So welcome back. We are now in the air with Asher the Rock, Tanzanite, and Trixie
Johnson
holding on to some legs. Tanzanite is facing rear view mirror style.
Yep.
Trixie is navigator. Second, what do you call the passenger seat? And
Shotgun.
Asher flying in a direction. And honestly,
it's like a reverse crow's nest.
2.5 hours of our playtime was like 10 minutes of your rock transformation.
Just 10
so you
minutes
got
of
50
Asher
minutes of flying
a
to
giant
play
bird
with here.
peeing all over the ground in fear.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Wow.
It's official. There's a long
That's how we put the lava
bird
out.
scat.
Don't say that because I'm pretty sure that probably leaves a trail.
Totally. So what are you up to, Asher? You got 15 minutes of flight time. Are you turning around back to the Bog Witch? Are you moving towards a direction of some...
Well, I guess if I feel confident that we escaped and we know... I wish I could communicate with you guys because I want to know if you would rather go to the boat or to the Bog Witch, because the Bog Witch we know is an ally of the Lich, who is our ally. So if we go there, we could potentially get help there. I'm gonna, since we're right there, I'm gonna go to the Bog Witch now that I'm not dragging a red dragon on top of her.
Yeah, so a quick turnaround. The western and lowering sun now at your tail feathers. You can't even make out to the east where the red dragon flew towards where that red dragon is. It's moved so far out of range at this point. But you can vaguely make out the light blue shape of the faraway mountains. And you make your way back, and easily within the time that would be required within the constraints of your spell, you're able to land in front of that.
As I touch down, I'm going to let the spell go, and then I am standing with one foot on Trixie's shoulder and my knee like cocked up onto Tanzanite's shoulder because I was carrying them on my feet.
Yeah.
Like, hey, and I'll just like jump down. I'm still afraid of that dragon, ain't I?
Yeah, but it's not moving closer to you at this point.
Good, because I failed to roll again.
Oh no.
Dragon fear
Giant
will
dice,
fade in
you're
an
in jail.
hour.
Okay.
So a little pale, a little shaken. Asher, Trixie, Tanzanite, you are on the ground just outside of a little mud hut.
So how's everybody feeling after being barbecued?
Thanks for bringing me back.
I mean, considering, well, yeah, no, you're welcome.
And there's still a light waft of burnt feather smell floating past, even though the rock form is no longer there. The feathers definitely left a lingering scent in the air.
I would like to cast Mass Cure Wounds.
Yeah, so you take
all
the time.
for really? Wow, that's crap. 11 for everybody.
11.
I'll take it.
Yeah, but you take the time to cast Mass Cure Wounds, which that's 3d8 plus 5. How'd you get an 11?
Because I rolled a 2, a 3, and a 1.
Ouch. Okay.
It's gonna be one of them days, y'all.
Right.
Yeah, and so
Getting it out of the way early. That's all. All my rolls from here go up.
Yes.
He said as he digs out those awesome dice from the one shot last week.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Seeing as I have seen the Bog Witch's true form, will I continue to see that?
Her true form was the form you saw before. The 3 creatures you saw, there was 2 that were a little less than gorgeous, but there was one multi-tailed fox creature that was with the 3 coven creatures.
I thought they were all they looked like hags, though.
Oh, they definitely, when all 3 of them were together, they very much looked like they were a coven. But what makes up a coven, what makes up a hag, if that's up to interpretation.
Okay, so her form didn't change. Okay.
You just realized the same being that you'd met out in the swamp was down there with 2 other feminine creatures of different forms.
And that doesn't affect my curse?
I mean, you can go ahead and kind of like intuit in yourself and see where things feel, and go ahead and roll a personal insight check.
Dirty 20.
You kind of check into your own self, and you don't know why, but you still feel like this is home over the other homes you might be able to claim.
No.
Sorry, Mom.
And there's a little bit of metacognition in this moment just because of that deep insight and being going, why do I care or feel safer in this place than all the other places I have access to, possibly? You could have that introspection, but it still calls to you as home.
Isn't that weird?
So that sucked. I don't think we've ever got our butt kicked like that before.
We have not. I don't like it.
I mean,
either.
we also.
I don't feel good right now.
I mean,
about any of it.
I mean, we did what we could in the moment. It's not like we knew what was coming. It's not like we had any time to plan. We were at an immediate disadvantage. I mean, I think we did pretty good considering we didn't die. Nobody completely died. Yes. Well,
GM, I have a question. Is Asher aware that his fear comes from a spell and not just because he was afraid?
Go ahead and roll again another check. This is going to be Arcana.
13.
You are wise enough in the ways of magic to realize that wasn't magic. It was something else. Something that's truly innate to being confronted with a dragon.
Them scary bitches.
I'm sorry that I kept running away. Something got into my head. I was so scared I couldn't go anywhere near it. I don't know what happened. I don't think that it was me, but maybe I'm just a huge coward. I have no idea.
You are not a huge coward.
Yeah, I agree.
We knew you wanted to fight the dragon. I felt something similar, but I don't know. It might just be luck of the draw that we shook it off. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a whole different type of dragon than what we've come up against so far, at least alone.
Yeah, definitely don't, think too negatively about yourself for that reason. Other reasons, maybe, but not being afraid.
I jam her with my elbow.
Ow!
At least I'm still incredibly good looking, and that's what's important.
Trixie's just yeah, okay.
Blushes just a little bit.
The inverted reactions of your two companions.
Really?
Ooh.
So you're outside the Bog Witch's space, as you've chosen to call her.
Oh.
I gotta remind her how to just mute her screen so she doesn't move all of our other stuff. Yes, that button. But yeah, you're sitting there outside of the Bog Witch's space. I mean, Tanzanite, you've not gone in here before. Asher, you are aware of what the interior is like, but you're outside here just conversing. She has not come back out.
Well, I think, did Trixie tell us that she was in there? In the other place? Because she may not even be home.
I don't think she mentioned seeing her.
Okay. So I will go and knock on the door. Apparently the dog barks even at my fake knock.
So you knock on the door and you hear nothing. Roll a perception check.
Let's try this purple dice. Ooh. 24.
Awesome. You knocked on the door and you wouldn't have noticed it because, it's a mud and thatch hut. You wouldn't have noticed it except your keen eyes picked up that the door moved inward a little bit.
Tanzanite, tell me, what do your elf eyes see?
I can look. Let me look.
Tanzanite goes for a look and gazes.
I'm going to peek my head in the cracked door. Hello? Maybe she's not here, I say to Trixie. Who maybe knows where she is.
Hello, you get the waft of those cookies and you see the expansive, warm interior that you recall from before. But no one answers you.
Well, she may not be here, but I feel like she said we could come back anytime, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. I would like to look closely at the hut itself. I have a feeling I might know what it is, but like out of character. But like there are spells where you can like drop basically like an indestructible shelter. I'm wondering if that's what this is.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Nat 20! Purple dice stays.
Yeah, so you are familiar that there are ways magic can reshape reality, and especially through your work on the portals, you were introduced to a lot of different dimensional magic and manipulation of space. And you are very much aware that this space might be unique in how it's constructed, but it's very much a warping of dimensional space, and that going through this door does not mean you're actually going into the space that is visible in the physical world behind it.
Okay. So I it's like some sort of little dimensional pocket or something. That's the gist of it.
Yeah, I think overall you can kind of just get this taking you to a different.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like feel it
pocket
and like
space.
for a little while, just like on the outside. Then I'll be like, I think that in there is a different plane or small pocket plane than out here, and I think if we're in there, I don't think the dragon can get us. So maybe we should go inside. It certainly can't fit through this door, so there's that.
You don't have to eat anything.
I'm gonna like poke my head in.
Could you roll a wisdom saving throw, please?
Your chair provided the like perfect sound effect, like the.
Am I adding anything to it? Sorry.
Wisdom saving throw. So
Wisdom
you'll use your
save.
wisdom save, which I believe is pretty high.
Wisdom saving throw. Ooh. +9.
Somehow it's a 9.
27.
Woo!
You smell the deliciousness of baked goods, but you have mind over matter, or at least will over desire in this moment. And you are not tempted to eat a cookie or anything else that's coming out of the baked goods zone that
My shadows are
represents
just
a solid half
standing
of the
in front of
space.
them.
Did the witch ever tell us her name?
It did.
I feel like we asked.
Did I write it down? I think I.
No, I feel like she asked ours.
She definitely asked yours.
I feel like Trixie asked, though. Did you not? You might not have. I felt like you did.
I feel like she asked me my name, and I think I asked her back.
Yeah.
But then she didn't answer, so then I didn't answer.
Oh, that could have been.
She like pulled away and was like, "That's all for now. Okay, bye."
I'm gonna be like, lady, hello.
Again, you hear nothing.
All right,
Do you step into the space?
Yeah.
Yeah. You are in that warm,
Why would
welcoming...
I not go into my own grandmother's house for it? Obviously.
You're in that warm, welcoming space. And you you see that there are foods laid out, and very much it appears as if someone left it for you to enjoy. There is beautiful candlelight and little wisps of some sort of other golden light in the area. And it just draws you in to that space. But yes, you are in that room. You can see that there are some other doors that you may not notice on your first trip in and out. But yeah, you are in the home of the witch that you met before.
Is there like a sofa or somewhere with pillows, or like even a nice like rug.
It's almost like thinking about it draws your eye to it, and you didn't maybe see it before, but it's there. There's a nice cozy corner of 4 love seat sized chairs and smaller chairs and pillows on the floor and on all over these cushions. They appear to be made of leather and something plush and velvety looking, a little worn and cozy. There looks like there was a handmade afghan thrown over a couple of them and a couple of pelts of some creature.
I go to one with the blankets and I like burrito myself into the blanket, and then I like curl myself into like a cinnamon roll, and then like including my tail like all the way around me, and I just like, and I'm out. Like I do not wait for
For old lady.
like essentially I was like, oh, I'm kind of tired. I could just, and then I'm there.
Grandma
Like-
won't mind. Grandma Bogwitch won't mind. I'm gonna look at Tanzanite and be like, I guess we rest. I feel okay, but my bird form took all of the hits, so
I could definitely rest.
okay, I mean, it's really safe here. I don't think we need to put up a watch, but if you feel like I should watch, I can.
You two seem to feel very safe here, so if you feel safe not having a watch, I trust.
Okay, I'm gonna go over and make sure the door is closed so the dragon can't like stick its head in, and then I will go lay down on the pillows and stuff.
Yeah. Is everybody taking a nap and resting and relaxing in this space in this time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first hour goes uneventfully, and those of you who would like it, you do get the benefits of a short rest.
Oh.
But then this next step is going to require a little bit of thinking, because a different door bangs open and a young woman comes in, apron and skirt, blouse and over her head, a little bit of a material holding back some really springy hair. And she marches up to the counter and begins immediately pulling dishes and mugware and other things out. And then she turns and looks, sees the 3 of you, and just starts laughing loudly.
Hey, Rurik, do me a favor. Wrist, you're muted.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll a perception check to see if I wake up.
I was gonna say, yeah, me too. I was gonna ask you. I was actually gonna ask you to roll a d20, and then like for like the volume of her laugh, and if it's above a 10, I'm gonna wake up. That just seems fun to me.
She did not roll above a 10, but it's a performance check for her, which gets her a 15 solid.
Okay.
So
I will.
It's loud. It's impressive. It gains your attention.
Okay, then I will sit up from where I'm spooning.
I'll let you decide how exhausted you are, and whether or not you sleep through that.
I mean, I rolled a natural 20, so I think my elf ears or my non-elf ears miss nothing.
So your squirrel is here.
You're drawn awake as well. Tanzanite, are you drawn awake by this laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can give yourselves, if you would like to, before we move forward, you can give yourselves the benefits of a short rest. That includes certain recoveries for certain people based on short rest. It also means you can roll a number of hit dice that you choose, up to half of your hit dice to heal. Yes, Tanzanite.
It does not regain spell slots.
No, not unless you had a feature of some sort to do that.
What is the class that does do that again?
Warlocks have like 2 slots, and there's certain other things where you get those types of benefits.
I feel like I have something, but I think I had to play a song or something to.
Yeah,
But
that you have a Song of Rest that helps like gives them double their hit dice.
I can't find it for some reason.
I got most of my hit points,
Yeah.
so I feel pretty rested.
Beautiful. And Asher, the thing you're thinking of is called Song of Rest, which is a feature. It's in your features area.
Gotcha.
And Trixie, how are you doing? Are you feeling
Better.
It's just Song of Rest is just a hit dice thing.
Not
So,
100%, but
so?
Definitely
Yeah,
more
you
like-
all spring awake as this young woman appears to be laughing. Her hair kind of caught up in this bit of cloth, but you can see it's much bouncier hair than you would have expected from anybody that you've currently run into. Her cast of features is different. She seems to be of a different land than where you've been so far with Overton, Underton. She doesn't look elven. She doesn't look dwarfish. She's just a very different being.
I want to say hello.
I didn't realize there were borders. That weren't in
We
a
were
room.
told we were welcome here anytime, and we were running from a dragon, so we just.
I am
in here.
sure you all are always welcome. The proprietress is always very, very liberal with the invitations. I just have never seen anybody choose to just sleep in the tavern floor. There are going to be people here soon, so you might want to
This is a tavern.
make your way to rooms. And as she says that, you hear another door, not the door that she actually entered through. If any of you were aware enough, I think Trixie, with your D20, you might actually have seen which door she came through. But a different door opens, and you see a fairly broad male individual, scaly skin, eyes that are just a little bit too large seeming, step into the space as well and look at the woman who is laughing, give one curt nod, and me say, "Oh, I'm late. Sorry," and wander into a back space. And it's almost like as he entered, a space behind that bar appeared that wasn't there before, and he immediately goes in there, and you can hear the sounds of someone preparing to cook. Pots are banging. You can hear the sounds of a stove being loaded up with firewood, and all the other accoutrements of that
I'm gonna be
cacophony.
like, can we like rent a room? We had a little bit of a tussle with a very big dragon, and we're a little exhausted.
Oh my, are you near the mountains?
Yes.
Do you come from the
No.
Midlands or do you come from the coast?
We're in a swamp.
Yeah, we were in a swamp.
A swamp.
Like that door over there went out to a swamp,
And she goes,
there was
looks
like
at the door and goes, "Oh, I haven't seen that one before." Huh. Well, welcome. And she scratches her head, kind of like getting in underneath the hairnet of it, so to speak, to kind of scratch a little bit. And then she goes, "But it takes all sorts. I did not realize there was a swamp here." Huh.
well, there was. Well, I mean, I think the most of it is still there, right?
yeah,
There's a part of it that's not so
lava
much anymore.
now. Yeah,
But
it's a big dragon, big, huge dragon.
Well, there's been incursions everywhere, and luckily we all have a home here that keeps us safe. Well, at any rate, the rooms are always available, as you should know.
We've
And,
only been here very briefly. We didn't stay last time.
well, as newcomers, welcome to this space. Some call it the Amundsen, other people call it other things, but it is a safe space, so you are welcome. And we just ask that you don't do anything dangerous here.
The proprietor you were speaking of.
Yes.
I did not actually speak with them very much. What was their name?
Well, And you can see her face get a little bit puzzled for a moment as like she's trying to recall something that she thinks she should know.
Mm.
And then her face clears. So yes, you know the proprietress as well.
I mean, the other two know
Yeah,
more.
we were in the swamp, and then we came across this little yurt, like a hut, and the door came in here.
And they had snacks. I did not come in
And
the
there were
first
cookies.
time or eat anything. So
Well, you're more than welcome. And she again gestures over to the baked goods that are out. But we will be cooking something a little heartier in a moment. So
I sit up a little straighter.
Food?
Do
Oh.
tell.
And she kind of turns and you can see her neck kind of gets like stuck, like she's got a sore. She reaches up and she kind of rubs her muscle there. She, Lentil, what are you making tonight?
Lentil.
And you hear from the back, kind of like gruffly and almost muted, lamb stew.
Lamb. And I look at them and I go, what's lamb?
a baby sheep,
Yeah.
right?
Do we know what sheep are?
Asher
Would
might know
I?
from
Maybe I
history.
wouldn't.
Tanzanite might have like very occasionally had the rare treat of the imported lamb from overseas. But it's a rarity.
It's just an animal. What do we have around that I could compare it to?
Bats are probably the most common meat source from the Underton folk. Overton, it would be smaller creatures like rabbit and squirrel and.
I'm sorry, what?
It's like a live.
I was waiting for you to say that.
It's like a little
Have you ever
horse,
seen like the wool coats in the market that are
but
imported?
a big dog,
The blankets. It's the animal that
a fuzzy goat.
grows wool on its.
Tanzanite's just naming random animals. It's like,
It's like
you know,
a
if you
deer,
put
but
the
not a
head of
deer.
a deer with the fluff of a squirrel tail. Just
As like these two highly educated people in their own different ways, list off of a bunch of animals that are rare to never being sighted in Overton and Underton.
I'm just
A
gonna
little cloud with a
I'm
head.
gonna
and feet.
look back to the lady and be like, will there be stew without lamb?
It's meat. That's it.
Well, I mean,
I guess, but I don't know.
Bacon is meat.
it's from his people, and it's delicious tasting. I just don't know really what it is. Hey, what else is there? And you just like hear a grumble from back in the kitchen. He goes, I'm sure there's like vegetables that we can, parsnips and stuff.
I'll think
there
about
is-
it. It's what I've just never heard of it, so I'm a little, But well, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Bethany.
Bethany?
Yep.
Trixie?
Our village is currently frostier than usual, which means that this has become a very safe place to come pretty much every day. We had a brief period where the entire village was here because of a white dragon. But at this point, we're back to things as usual, just a little bit colder. Can't rely on the proprietress all the time. And we thought about taking one of the other doors to somewhere new, but we've heard similar tales of woe from each, so we haven't really made that decision yet.
So, just to be clear, we are or we are not in Atland. I'm asking. That's Asher asking, not me asking.
Yeah, no, she kind of just looks at you very confused. Where's Atland?
That's where we're from. That's where the swamp is. That's where there's Overton and Underton and lots of other places.
New
Maybe the
Belgrano.
Pullets know where you're from. They are usually here fairly late, so
They might. Maybe.
Have you ever heard of anyone named Grand?
why does that strike a bell?
He's a trader. The Grand's brand is his.
Grand's brand. Yes, we heard that there was an influx of goods going somewhere over the seas to this Grand's brands. They have some fairly inspirational folk who come up and share their stories. And there's one woman who recently passed through selling various potions that she said she got her start to what she called expanded operations. Yes, expanded
I know her.
operations. You know her.
A long time ago, I think I knew her.
Oh, well, she was lovely. Older, amazing that she's able to move about as she is. Crazy contraption she was traveling in. And no sheep to pull it at all. It was very, very strange, and no goats.
So this is Amundsen Shelter.
Yes, that's one of the names it's known by. Yes.
Okay, then I know where we are.
Oh,
Well,
good.
that makes one of us.
I'm gonna take out my book. I'm gonna draw like a quick map of like where we were in the swamp and like over 10, and then show them that. I guess if you have the map, you could pull it up, but otherwise I can hold this up. This is where we are.
And I will say for
Like directly west of Canyonville, kind
if
of.
you think about the center of the continent, pretty much. Just for location.
So we are in Atlan still. Or at least
Well,
in the same plane as Atlan.
I think
we took a portal.
Well, and
Who's
she
here?
interrupts you as you're like kind of like trying to share. I need to get started, but that's the door to the actual Amundsen. I don't know what Atland really is, but my door is not in this Atland you speak of.
Okay.
And neither is his door. His door's a little strange.
But in your place,
that's
you
where we
still
got
have
sheep and goats
you
from.
still also have a dragon problem.
Oh, quite a bit.
I feel like these days everyone has a dragon problem.
Okay.
Another door opens as this conversation has gone on, and you get this waft of like rich floral aromas, and kind of a humidity hits the space for a second before the door shuts behind an individual who is slightly shorter than everybody else except for Trixie, and they have a different type of clothing altogether. Very, very light, breezy, thin clothing. And they come in and says, "Oh, did you need anything from our side? We're doing pretty well these days. Happy to share." And Bethany turns to them and they immediately start engaging in a conversation. And they appear to be having a negotiation for trade goods of some sort.
I'm going to lean over to my people and be like, I think his plane has animals that have been extinct for thousands of years on our plane.
His who?
This guy that she's talking to. With the
Well-
lambs.
Well, I thought she said that the lamb came from the guy who's cooking.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, whoever.
Slowly, various doors open and close, and the space feels like it grows almost. And you get the sense that it is several small villages have kind of convened in this space and are beginning to wait for meals while Bethany very adroitly moves about the space, providing drinks, sharing treats that are from the tabletop, the counter. And then eventually you get the nice smell of a lamb stew pervading the space, and you do overhear different people saying different things. You at one point, the man who had come in the lighter style of clothing comes back with a basket of what look like fruits of some sort. Maybe they're all very brightly colored, and it's not too long after that before there's a tray of fruits that's passed around, and people seem to be eating, speaking. You can see two people of very distinct dress styles who are younger than you all, sitting off in a booth in a corner, kind of making giggly eyes at each other and apparently courting one another. You can see that there are other individuals who are having very serious conversations. There's one crew of what you might normally call graybeards in a different world, sitting around a table very vehemently arguing about why they should not be in that room together. And there's just various discourses occurring. And as time wears on, you're offered stew if you choose to eat it. And there's just kind of like a congevial. What is the word for
congenial?
Happy? Congenial, yes. There's a congenial sort of vibe to the space as you're all sitting there.
Are any of my bard people here? Like I know about Amazon Shelter because they've been there.
Roll a perception check.
Um, 24.
It's concerning to you because your Lutes and Lyres guild might be young, but they've been extremely effective at getting into spaces and places. But for whatever reason, the few people that have come through the door that was identified to you as the Munson door are not members of your crew that you recognize, at least. You do not see anybody, and you are keenly aware of that fact, especially with the 24. It's glaringly obvious to you that there is no one from that group here.
As I look around, realizing that none of my guild is here in this tavern where they should be, I'm going to turn to the other two and say, oh shit, we forgot Fawn and the crew at the... Oh, I can't remember the name of this.
The Delve?
Delve of Mayor Bird. We left them there. I intended to go back, but that was a while ago. Oops.
I mean, there were other ways to leave that place, weren't there?
There was an exploded airship.
Right, but it was an island, so there were other ships, right?
I mean, maybe they found another way. We should make a note to check on that when we're on our way back. Add it to the list.
I'm sure she's fine. She's resourceful.
Is is she like the she's not the proprietor, like I want to say like the server or I don't know what her is. She like free again?
She seems to be very, very busy. Like she doesn't seem to stop at any point to more than smile with someone and then rush off to grab their order. There's not a lot of coin being exchanged for services at this point. Every once in a while, somebody will flip off strange coins that are different, and she'll take some and then she'll press others back to the people. But it seems like the exchange of funds is less, and there you see none of the Underton Overton sort of coinage that's kind of hit Canyonville and kind of taken over that space that's now infiltrated Beard's Delve, or any of the other spaces that were like the kind of like a universal coinage had been established. It's mostly like goods and services that are exchanged, and in this space it seems very relaxed. Like they brought in fruit and he came out with a pot of stew. So it's a very strange little space that you're in right now. You do see another group set up at this point as the night waxes on, and they are putting together what looks like a gambling table of sorts. They have cards out and they're starting to play and do a couple of other things. At one point, someone runs in from the door that Brittany came through and whispers something to her. Her face looks slightly alarmed. And then she darts out and she disappears for half an hour. But somebody else just seems to step up into the role of passing out drinks while she's gone. It's a very communal space.
You're muted. No, there you
go. What should we do? Should we just grab a room and get some sleep? Or do you want to like talk to all these people?
I mean, I think. Well,
I mean, is there like interplanar opportunities here for the Alliance where
that's
they help
kind
fight
of what
our
I was
dragons and
thinking.
we help fight their dragons? And
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. We can at least talk and see if people would be interested in joining the cause, but you know, I don't want to like force it on anyone or anything. I mean, they're all here to, you know, to
relax and enjoy.
Yeah, and be safe. But
yeah, I'm just wondering if they have animals we don't have. Maybe they have weapons we don't have, or magics or technologies or something that are more effective at fighting dragons than what we have.
I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt to. I think we should stay here for the night, rest, and before going to bed, speak with people.
Wait,
I don't know who.
Well, I mean, Bethany might be able to point us in the direction of. She kind of seems to know
everyone.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I guess I could go play cards.
Yeah.
People talk at card tables. Maybe just see what we can glean in the conversation. I'm gonna dig in my bag and see what I have for like money that's not Overton money, I guess. I probably still have some gemstones and a few things.
Yeah, and I think looking over, just roll a perception check, Asher.
Is this dice weighted to 14? Because that's another 24. That's the third 14 that I rolled on it.
Looking over at the table, looking over at the table, you see that they seem to be scribbling down on little slips of parchment different things, and then those go into the middle pile after like a brief discourse about what it is that they're writing down. I think with a 24, you may even make out one that says like 4 dozen eggs. And you get the sense that these are like little writs of promise. But there are some actual items on the table as well. You do see a little gold ring. You see somebody try to put down a locket, and then the others at the table push the locket away and they just shake their head at the individual who put the locket down, and they kind of sigh and get up from the table and walk out.
Oh,
grandmama's locket.
Oh dear.
They're not going to let somebody give away a family keepsake. There's a sense at this space that it's really hard to do others harm in here, intentionally or otherwise. It's like almost people are being kinder than they should be.
So there's like a seat open at the table now?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go over that way. Like, mind if I play a few hands?
Welcome. One of the individuals who had waved away the person who had put the locket down. What brings you here? Welcome. What village are you from? You do not look
Normal.
Like any of the other doors.
Apparently, I'm a genetic anomaly. Hooray! So I come from a city called Overton, in the realm of Atland. The same place as Amazon Shelter, but far to the south of there.
I didn't think there's any place south of there. There's so few that come through. I mean, you must be a new village. We're usually pretty small.
No, Overton's pretty big. What's the population of Overton? Like thousands?
Hundreds of thousands at this point, with all the additional people flocking in, maybe creeping up towards 1 million.
Okay. It's very large. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people there. We've had a lot of refugees because of dragons, so maybe more than that now. We have other cities as well that are in an alliance against dragons in our realm that so it's growing every day, but yeah, we're not small.
Okay. Well,
Where are you from?
I'm from, well, the best place in the world.
Which is?
You don't know the best place in the world? No, wait.
I mean, I assume it's Underton. Because that's where I'm from.
Oh dear.
Do you have
That's a Trixie. That's Trixie
Totally.
saying that.
Do you have you say Underton?
Mhm.
Are you one of those villages that's on the ground?
Well, Overton,
Under the
Overton
ground.
is on the ground, and then Underton is like
Below.
a sister city underneath Overton.
You can see his face just betrays this honest sense of horror.
So your city is on the water? In the
Air?
air?
Our village floats above the treetops, as is proper.
I don't know about proper, but that's very intriguing.
How do you survive the root rot?
We don't have that.
There's what?
What? The root rot, it would tear apart your dwellings, your homes, your lives.
We don't
I
have that
lived
where
in
we're
a
from.
cave made of rocks and gemstones.
His face just, like, it's very clear he does not compute. He goes, what is a cave?
It's
An open space.
Okay, you know what a rock
underground?
is, right?
Vaguely, I've heard that they exist, and every once in a while we trade for some of them because they're pretty, but we wouldn't dare
So,
touch any of that.
Imagine
normally.
a really big one with the hole inside of it in there.
like you know what a mountain is?
Won't you die inside of... It's not... You're
Well,
strange people.
Do you want
What
to visit?
about you? How are you in the air? What are you on?
Of course, we live on the Pyrex.
The Pyrex.
Yes, you harvest it from the treetops and you expand out your space, replace that which is dying, foster the moss, and
So
the moss will protect you.
So your city is built on the treetops and it's not floating.
No, you... I keep forgetting the strange people from different realms here. So we move about and we harvest the treetops. And as we harvest the treetops, we feed that to the moss, and the moss keeps us aloft.
So the moss floats.
Yes, certainly. If that's how you portray it.
Okay.
We come back through to the door here at the Great Oak every other day.
Could I just, like, as this is happening, get up and I want to start looking in these doors.
Okay.
Just
So
as people are talking, I'm gonna be like, "Excuse me."
Excuse me, I'm going to look at the treetop city. I'll be back.
Asher, I'm going to start with Asher and the gambling. Trixie, if you want to think about anything that you might be doing, then I'll go to Tanzanite and I'll go to Trixie, okay? If anything opens up as we go through this, you can decide that you might or might not participate. So Asher, they explain to you the rules of their game, and they call it White River Runting. And what you do is you are they kind of have this dice play that they're doing, and they have a little bit of the game is you're trying to hold on to the raft and not fall off, and that's what why they call it White River Runting. And what I would like you to do to start the game off, since it's fun this way, is I would like you to roll a d10. Make you do all the work.
These guys? Okay. Woo. 4.
So they when that happens, they said, we have 4 rounds. This will be a quick one, folks. And they begin to kind of tell you a little bit of a tale about a tree captain who takes the challenge of transporting goods down one of the roughest tree canyons on the Nitsu River. And they're kind of telling you this whole story, and like you're hearing all these names that make no sense whatsoever. And then they say that the Nitsu is impossible to pass even during the driest of dry seasons when the leaves crackle. But sometimes there's goods too good to refuse, and that's where this game came from. So what you are trying to do is you're trying to equal the pot multiplied by the number of rounds, and then it gets split amongst you all. So it's a little bit of a fun, goofy looking, silly little game. But over the course of 3 rounds, you're trying to get the highest number on D20s. Okay. So the first round starts off, and you see that people, before they even roll their own dice, they write on scraps of paper and they start showing them to each other and making sure that people agree that their amount is worthwhile. So one scribbles down the last pot, 4 dozen eggs, and they put it into the middle after everybody agrees. The next person pulls out a small token that just looks like some sort of ancient coin of some sort. It doesn't seem to itself have any intrinsic value at a glance, but it's fun looking and cool. The other people slowly nod, and it's tossed in there with a piece of paper. The next person puts one down, and their little piece of paper says massage, and everybody gets really excited when they write massage. Like, it doesn't seem like a massage should equal the number of eggs or that strange coin, but everybody's down with it being put in. And then it comes to your turn to offer something.
I will put in crap.
I don't remember what I
Do you need help?
have.
It's your first time. We understand.
How about if I put in a disguise kit?
As you put that in and they see all the different pieces, there's some concern, and you can see, I'm going to help you out, okay, kid? And
Okay.
he starts taking the components of your kit apart, and he moves certain items, like the makeup, back to you. Those are rare and expensive and doesn't quite fit the pot. As we grow, you might add those in, and you see like a lot of your simple prosthetics and things like that have ended up in the pile, but the majority of the disguise kit is still on your side.
Okay.
And then so they tell the story. Says, all right, it's time to hold on for dear life. So we need everyone to roll or be knocked off the raft. And the person who started it off rolls, and you see that they have a 14. He says, if you want to stay on my boat, you better roll higher.
Not me.
And other people take their turn.
That's 7. Bye.
No!
As you roll 7, somebody else also rolls a 7. You see, and the other person immediately puts their hands up. I've fallen, and they laugh. And they're having a good time. Another person says, I've barely held on, as they rolled a 14.
And I'm going to say, oh my God, wee!
There's clapping for your dramatics and stuff like that as you do that. And then it's the 2 individuals who've remained, and they both roll after putting some more pieces of paper down that were kind of negotiated and agreed upon. And then the person who's claiming to be the captain at this moment says, I have an 8. It will be easier for you to hold your ground against this moment. And then the other person says, I've got a 17. I've held on tightly. And they go, again, there's another round, and they place more bets down, increasing that pot of original stuff. And then it comes up to the last round, and the captain says, I rolled an 11. Shaky ground, you stand on the rapids are quick. What you going to do? And the person rolls, and their face just falls for a moment. Goes, all right, you old fraud. I owe you 3 massages. And you see the first individual just so like a beatific grin on his face. And he pulls in his winnings of the various other materials. And he was the one who had put in the eggs in the first place. So he pulls that thing back, and he waves at one of the other individuals who just kind of raises his hands like, yes, I know, I still owe you the eggs. And it's kind of like a fun little moment that they're all having. Do you have any response to what's going on, or are you going to play again? I'm going to move on to Tanzanite for a second, but
I'm going to play again.
Yeah. Okay. So you go ahead and you'll play again. I'm going to have Tanzanite. You've been poking around at the doors. Any particular door you're going for first?
I have a vision of her like opening a door and fire shoots out, and she closes it real quick. Open that one.
Not necessarily. I probably just the closest one I'm to would I do first.
Roll a D8 for me.
D8. Okay.
I agree. 4 dozen eggs is expensive.
All right. Ooh, 8.
All right. You go up to a door that has not opened yet.
Oh.
And as you get to the door, you can feel it. It feels a little cold to the touch. You turn the handle, and barely cracking it open, you get a whiff of rot and old and decay. Do you continue opening it?
I do not, because I don't want to draw attention by bad smells.
Yeah. You close that door. I'll have you do one more door.
Yeah.
Just randomly choosing another door. Go ahead and roll the D8 again.
Okay.
But if you roll 8, roll something else.
Right.
Because I'm tight.
A 7.
Yeah, so right next, you go to the next door, and it's the one that the lizard-looking individual had come through, and no one else has really come through this door. You open the door, and you see several abandoned-looking huts in a desert plateau. Sand as far as you can see. You may not have seen deserts in your time, but you've heard about them from the travels of folk who have been kind of like bringing Atlan together. And the desert scape just goes off into the distance. And there are 4 huts, only one of which looks like it has been kept up. The other 3 have kind of fallen apart, and sheltered within those huts, you can make out some fluffy looking creatures that you have come to know as lambs and sheep and goats.
If I were to go like this through the door, like lean out, what does the door look like to come into this space?
As you lean out and you look and you see that there's another hut here that looks fairly similar to the huts out there. This one's just a little bit more pristine. It's covered in little bit higher quality leathers. And you can also make out that there is a bit of canvas over the top that kind of provides a bit of shade for the entrance to it. And as you kind of lean out, you kind of feel and like, well, it looks like a regular door from the inside. From the outside, as you're kind of like leaning out there and everything, you feel like it's more like a tent flap than a door. It's a weird juxtaposition of door and tent flap. But it looks like an isolated, small, tiny little village that may not have many other people left in it.
I'm gonna go close the door, and
you hear the bleating of sheep for a moment, and then the flap seals, and then the door's behind you.
Wait.
Just looks like a regular door again.
Oh, okay. I'm in that space. Great.
You're in the inn. You're not on the outside unless you're walking outside. And
yeah, no. I'm gonna go find Trixie and just kind of tell her what I found and saw. Or smelled, if for.
Go. Speak to Trixie.
Trixie! I'm going to point to the second door and go, that door leads to a desert. Like sand. I don't know if you've ever heard of a desert. I've heard of them. Now I've seen one. Just sand.
Like at the edge of a lake?
Yes, but super dry, no water. So it's not like wet sand. And it's everywhere.
That sounds uncomfortable.
It looked uncomfortable.
I hate sand.
I hate sand.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's coarse. And
all these doors must go to, like, I feel like it was obvious that, I mean, she was saying that, but, like, they actually go to other places.
Well, this place could be useful then. I mean, as long as we have permission, we could use this place to, you know, if people here join the Alliance and, you know, we need to bring them aid, or vice versa, right?
The deserts there wasn't many people there. There were sheeps. Do you want to see sheeps? I pull her up if she lets me.
Yeah.
Kind of half dragged, half like willing. You get dragged over to the door, and
I open the door and I'm like, that thing, that.
You see a squat sheep that's that has actually moved out of the little shelter that it was under, staring at you, chewing the cud that it's in its mouth, staring at you. Little horns peeling back a little bit, but they're like almost snubs.
Its eyes are really weird.
Bah!
See, this is a desert. That's a lamb. This is a different place. And then look at this. And I'm going to like lean her out and be like, it's a flap.
As you lean her out and say it's a flap, the sheep turns and just poops. Little pebbles of sheep poop.
Yeah,
totally disinterested with y'all.
I'm definitely going to have vegetables to eat.
But yeah, so there's not really too many people here, I don't think. But
I mean,
maybe these other doors and these other people.
Maybe, but like this one, I can understand why. Why would anyone want to be here?
I don't know. Well, the guy at the card table seemed very offended that I lived underground. So, but I loved it, so I'm sure whoever lives here loves it. I guess.
I would like to roll to see if I can like make this observation about like not like the reverse of the grass is always greener. Like this is all you know, but like about both of them. But I don't know if Trixie's quite like intuitive enough. Is this something I can use that like D100 for?
Sure. What exactly are you trying to get to? What is the hope
Like-
for outcome?
Like basically I'm trying to see if Trixie will have a moment of growth where she kind of like can observe that the reason that Tanzanite loved being in caves is because that was all she knew, and the reason that this guy thinks that living in a cave underground is because that's all he knows. And like
Okay.
it's you know, Larissa knows that, but I don't know if Trixie knows that, and I don't know because she's still a kid, and I don't know what would need to happen for her to kind of make that observation besides like maybe like a role.
I love the idea of this growth. Trixie is very wise already, and I feel like it's more of like an intelligence enough to like take your wisdom and apply it to real world situation. So what I would like you to do is we'll just call it an intelligence roll, and you can use your D100 if you want to. But we're going to do an intelligence roll.
I guess I would just rather do a regular intelligence roll. I was trying to think of I don't know what the situation would be where I would use the. It doesn't seem epic enough for the 100.
Okay.
So.
Save that for when you're going to punch a dragon in the face.
Yeah. Okay. It's an intelligence roll. E. Nope. 11. It's okay.
You're still struggling. Like
yeah.
you're so excited to have escaped living in the tree with the acorn mush that you're just still absorbing.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, yeah, caves are nice and trees are also nice. So I that makes sense. Why you would both like them. Do you want to check out more doors? Although I can't. Oh, all that fruit. Did you see the fruit? That looks really good.
It did. I think we'd be better off just talking to people.
But I want to eat.
Well, you can eat while you chat.
Isn't it rude to talk with your mouth full?
Well, you take a bite while someone else is talking. You chew, and then when it's your turn to talk, you swallow, dab your lips, and then talk. Do you have lips? Do squirrels have lips? What do
I
you
have this
have?
feeling that you're like sitting there, like for the first time, like looking at Trixie's face.
God, Tanzanite, you can't just ask
Almost
someone if they have
reaching
lips.
to touch her face, but then like your sense of propriety keeps you from actually touching her face, but you're just like.
I mean, the thing is like I have
You have a muzzle, like a.
Yeah, and I have like the nose with like the separate, so like I have essentially like cheek flaps that like are divided and like the teeth and everything. So like mine are, it's a split lip, but it's not like a think like a dog.
I mean, I know, but Tanzanite doesn't know if you have lips.
I mean, I'm just gonna like do this and be like,
You see the
Oh,
gums.
are
And
these-
the,
Well, just dab your mouth area before you talk.
oh, okay,
And then you
So-
can eat while you talk.
okay. So if I come with you to talk to people, I can we do the fruit at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will then lead the way.
Okay.
so with that, we're going to pause for a little bit so that people can take a much needed break. But as I cast a spell, pause.
I have a better thing than a disguise kit for my next bet.
Okay. Nice.
I have
So
options.
we will be back. What makes the most sense, folks?
Just on the hour, I think would be good.
On
Yeah.
the hour, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back on the hour. Hope you have a lovely break. Get some drinks and happiness, and talk to you soon.
Okay, mini bye. Hi.
Hi, I know. Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Better known, I would have thrown some makeup on. All right.
Here. You're in charge now, Larissa, boss of us all. Tell us what to do. We will obey your commands.
Okay, here goes. Have a little grace. All right. Is this you? Oh, my head's at me went way down, Dewey. Well, fear not. For now, you can enjoy guilt-free, pain-free, nausea-free, dehydration-free mornings after a wild night out at your local tavern with Muggum's magical malady mitigating Madala of many medicines. Just slide the cap with its magically adjusting rim down over your aching skull and let your regrets melt away. Developed by Grand's brand in close collaboration with the Wizard Knee, this hat is guaranteed to remove any symptoms of what is commonly referred to as a very good time. So, if you want to be known as the partiest of party animals amongst your friends without any of the aftermath, stop by a Grand's brand store today and buy yours. Previous purchases of this product have reported certain side effects, including memory loss, coin loss, clothing loss, reputation loss, and head hair.
That was brilliant.
I'm glad I didn't have to cold read the name of that product.
Oh my goodness. You gave yourself a tongue twister.
Mandala.
Can you say that again? Just because I couldn't catch all of it, and I was like slowly.
Muggum's magical malady mitigating Madala of many medicines.
Oh my God,
Jesus.
you've got to send me that written out because there's no way I'm going to be able to put it into my list of random magical items that I'm keeping from these commercials without you writing it down because that's too much. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Okay.
we're almost there. We made it.
Welcome back. That was great. I actually kind of like this idea of the commercial being a rotating thing for folks. And then like if people have a legit reason they need to opt out, they can opt out. I also had a thought as we were separated that maybe we make it so that if you are the one who has to say it, but you get rolled, then you get to choose who your writer is.
Mm.
Interesting.
I think the best. Sorry, I just have to say this. If you look up what a Madala is, like the hat.
Is a Madala?
So it's a hat from traditionally worn by women in Yemen, but it's like a witch's hat, except it's white. It's like pointy with like a wide brim, and I was like, ah!
That is so cool. So cool. Well.
It's like
back,
a pointed hat with a
everybody.
veil on it.
Wait. Spell that, Larissa.
Like mad, and then Halla.
Like Valhalla, but Madala.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all going to be wearing Madalas next time.
That's the second word of the day. Madala.
Mandala.
Hat of the day. Hat of the day.
Hat of the day. You are all settled into this space. Asher, you are at a table gambling. Trixie and Tanzanite, you've kind of gone together for a moment to look through a couple of doors. But before we go too deep into that, I did want to ask Trixie if there was anything that had caught your eye that you wanted to do, or if you're happy tagging with Tanzanite on door.
Before I
central
dragged
door.
you somewhere.
I mean, I would have been just observing the because like that's
Food.
like, well, I mean, that's her, like
That's
her
something
big
that she
thing is
treasures.
that, yeah, is like being able to try new foods.
I feel like Trixie went from being like, I want to get out of the house to becoming like the ultimate foodie in an exploration sense. Like that's, some adventures.
I am Anthony Bourdain.
No reservation. Some adventurers go out because they want to change the world or because they want personal power or they want. Trixie's in it for the experiences. She just all the flavors of the world. Yeah.
Except for whatever the one that just like pooped little pellets out of its butt. You can pass
Go,
on that one.
go ahead and roll a perception check. And since this is Trixie's favorite terrain, roll it with advantage.
Are you making like food places my favorite terrain?
New foods only. Foods that she's seen before. Nope, no advantage.
I love this. Oh, it was a perception check? Oh, that's good. I rolled a 4 on one of them. So that is a 28.
Awesome. So you, before Tanzanite had pulled you aside, you had spotted something particularly interesting that you were very surprised by how it transformed. You saw it through like a little peek hole. Like there's plenty of other foods being made and stuff like that, but this was just strange because this was in the fruits kind of basket that had come in, and you'd seen them being sliced and everything. But this one particular item was pulled to the side and put into a strange contraption that looked like it was made out of iron. And what went in were sliced up little chunks of green stuff. What came out were these poofs of paler, slightly larger than they had gone in shapes. And then they immediately started sprinkling various herbs and spices and things on them. And so what went in, green, slimy. What came out, dry, poofed up, and now sprinkled with various ingredients. It's almost like you're looking at going like, what sort of arcane contraption transformed green slimy into poofed, pale, like tan colored object?
I know I said lead the way, but I want to check this out. And I grab her hand and I yank her over to the counter where those are, if they're sitting, or I don't know if they've been now distributed or.
You can see that they're not being distributed in any way. They're literally being left up there. And there is let me see. There's a person that looks somewhat similar to the individual who brought in the treats, but their facial features are distinctive. So you get the sense that they're not of the same people. They have a slight elongation of the ears, and their teeth are a little bit sharp. But you can see that once these were done, you can see that they honed in on it and scooped a bunch into a small wooden bowl and brought it back over to their table. And then a group of similarly featured folk, as well as a couple of other people, are all sitting there eating them and enjoying them. It's funny because the people that they brought it to that were not of their folk were hesitant at first to taste. But then after taking a bite, seemed to smile, nod, and be into it. And they look youngish, maybe in their similar age as you, as a group. So a young group exposing each other to new foods and tastes.
My kind of people. So I drag Tanzanite over to the group and I go, hi.
No, hi.
Sorry, I don't mean to bust in, but that looks really interesting. Can I try it?
Oh yeah, you should definitely try it. And they like kind of shove the bowl to you, and a couple of them are just like wide-eyed, like nervous looking a little bit, and then others are just like, yeah, it's really good. And it's one of those situations where there's like different expectations across the board of who's offering the food. And one of them speaks up, a little bit older than the others, and they the red ones with the red flakes on it, a little hot, and the green one's a little sour, a little bit more on the, and then those are just salty.
Hot? Do you mean like ouch, burn my hand hot, or?
Oh, like your tongue will have like you stuck your tongue on a stove hot.
Why? Well, let me start with
They grab one of them and they just put it on their tongue. They're like, It's so good.
It
I'd
sounds
like a
painful.
green one.
Yeah, they offer you point at the bowl and they offer you to choose a green one out of the bowl.
Well, I want to. If it's okay, I would like to try one of each, but I feel like I should start with the salty one. You said.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then, like, so you take a plain, you take a green one. Okay. So as you bite into it, it is crisp. The salty one, it's like biting into a potato chip.
Okay.
It's got that crispness, but it's just a little bit thicker.
Okay.
And the crumble isn't the shatter of a cracker or of a chip. It's more of the crumble of a cracker.
Like a rice cracker.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Almost perfectly in tune with the rice cracker situation. Just a little less shattery and more of the crumble.
Okay.
The flavor, pretty neutral. Just it's mostly texture and that crumbly feeling as it enters your mouth and your palate. Biting into the green one, Tanzanite, you first get a whiff of onion before you even put it in your mouth. And that's pretty strong. But once you put it in your mouth, that onion transitions to something that you can't even describe. You struggle for a moment. It's tangy, it's rich, but it's also it's also like a creaminess, and you pick up this garlicky, chivy, parsley sort of mix, and then as you get to the finish, it's like a little bit of something that you've never tasted before, but what we would describe as like a buttermilk finish. Trixie, are you continuing
I
to
just
taste?
keep eating the green ones.
I'm gonna try a green one next.
Okay, it's the same thing, same experience, that crumble, but the flavor impact in juxtaposition to the salted one is intense. Like you had something that's fairly blasé, and this is just full of flavors that are sparking off. And the juxtaposition is just wild. Like you even feel to the place like we would if you ate too many ranch Dorito chips and they had too much of spice, and suddenly you're just like, I just need a plain Dorito chip. Just
Right. Yeah.
plain. You can see that happening at some point if you ate a ton of them.
It's like eating a bunch of Sour Patch Kids and then just wanting a regular gummy bear.
Yeah, exactly. You're
Yeah.
like, I just need a plain gummy bear. I want the gumminess, but I do not need any more sour. My mouth is already puckered up. Yeah, exactly.
And then I go to take the red one, and I'm like, "Are you
It is so good. It's my favorite, absolute favorite. Two other people nod, and the rest of the crew of younger people just shake their head.
See that? You know what? Forget it. And I just pop it in my mouth.
All right. Ooh, natural 20.
Oh no.
Does a 28 hit?
Yes, of course.
You just had a square of that chocolate that we had.
Roll.
Take 10 mouth mischief damage.
I didn't even get a chance to throw a Constitution saving throw.
It's not a Constitution saving throw. It's a damage. It's an attack. You self-inflicted. So
Attack
since
to
it's
my
self-inflicted, could
senses.
you roll a d6 for me?
Sorry, it's going to take me a second to find one here. Scoop them out. Okay. All right. One.
One. So you take 1 point of capsaicin damage.
Ghost
And
pepper
for the
damage.
next hour, you have disadvantage on taste checks, but you will no longer take damage from capsaicin. You-
Not good.
Try
Not
eat more of
good.
them. Eat more of them. It'll help. It helps. And they hand you another one of the red chips.
I I put another one in my mouth.
You bite
That's
into
my
it, and
sense of
the fire from the first one has like neutralized this. This one you feel nothing.
huh?
It's got that all the flavors now start to come through, and you're getting the spiciness, but it doesn't hurt anymore. And the parts of your tongue that didn't get touched by the first one do get a little bit of a burn, but because most of your tongue already got coated, you just like it's just all sorts of high intensity flavor.
That's weird.
Eat another one. Eat another one. They hand you another one.
I think I'm.
Oh, here, take the green one. If it's too much, you can take the green one.
While she's eating those, which door are you from?
Well, I'm from, and he points over to the door that is 2 over from where Bethany came through.
Okay.
And they're from, well, she's from, and they kind of like start pointing to different doors. None of them are the doors that you've entered through.
Are any of
Or
you from a bigger town, village, community?
This is most of our village, and the one that's first spoke points to the 4 other people. Our parents didn't make it through the dragon attack. We're kind of just like getting things back established. My brother is still there. He didn't want to come in. We need somebody to watch over the animals. Grandpa is somewhere in here, and he kind of looks up and looks around, and he points towards the gambling table. He's over there. But that's pretty much all that's left of our village.
Oh, are any of these doors connected to a big town, big community, lots of people?
They kind of all look at each other for a little bit. It's like they look around, and one younger woman says, "There used to be more people in my town, but there's only 20 of us left. There used to be, I think there was a lot. There was like 100 before." But yeah.
And what are your plans now, being such a small group?
You see all their gazes look towards the old people who've been arguing in that one circular table about various things. Like, well, they plan, and we're just trying to make it work. And another pipes up and says, "I thought about heading back to the kingdom because, better slavery than this, but I can't really do that again." And another one kind of pipes up and says, "My parents worked really hard to get me out of the places we were before, so I feel like I just got to make this work." And they kind of all have little side conversations around just trying to figure out their situation.
Well, just so you know, the 2 of us, and I kind of point over to Asher, and I'm like, that one, we're from a very large place. Lots of things to do, lots of people to meet, lots of opportunities. You're always welcome there.
Which door did you come through? None of the doors go to big places.
I'm going to point to the door we came in. So, I mean, if you go through that door, it's not the town right away. It's just a swamp. But we could help you get to. I yell over, Asher! How far are we from anywhere?
Asher, you're in the middle of people making more bets with you, and there's even somebody who's trying to ask you if you want to play a different game in the next round that they calling takeaway, but they're going to play a round of the same game they've just played first. As Tanzanite yells this across the space to you. You're muted, by the way.
Well, if they go out the swamp door, they could be at Overton in a week. Is that what you're talking about?
Thank you.
Yep.
Overton in about a week.
They need a ship.
You
It's
would
longer
need
to
a
walk.
ship. Longer to walk.
We have a ship waiting.
We have
I
a
think
ship.
we could check.
I don't think we could move all of our stuff with, like, we have lives to move. We've been recovering pretty well. The dragons haven't been back to most of our villages. Well, they've been back to, and they kind of point over to Bidney. They've been back to her place a couple of times, but we're pretty, I don't think people want to.
Well, we've been fighting dragons as well, and if you don't want to, move, that's very understandable. But if you ever need help, you could try to contact us through the door, and we could always come and help. Or try to.
If you were closer, but a week's a long time. And we don't have anything like a ship. You can see like most of the faces look confused at the ship, but one person is perked up and been like, "Oh, we got ships. How far away do you think you are from where we're at?"
Oh gosh, I don't know. But that same boy, he can move us different places. And he also can turn into a bird that goes pretty quick.
You feel the wash of skepticism coming from these young people. Like, people been doing crazy things, but a bird?
It's weird. I understand. But anyways, I guess
Helped
if
us
you
escape the
ever,
last dragon we encountered.
Yeah, if you ever
we
need
managed
help,
to kill the other ones, but
like they all begin talking at once with you as you are talking at once, and there's side conversations about bird. How's a bird useful against a dragon? Don't they still fly? Dragons are fast. They're so big. And then the other conversations are happening, and like you can see that the expanse of their understanding is very much small parochial villages, and that the space here has kind of been the most cosmopolitan experience that any of them have ever had.
I'm gonna lean over to Trixie and just be like, I don't know if they'll be good in the Alliance, but we can still help them possibly. But I don't know if they'll necessarily be able to help us. And just come back like,
Trixie, roll a willpower saving throw with disadvantage.
oh no.
Oh God, are
you're in
you
your
gonna
favorite
punch me in the
terrain.
face?
I'm not sure what they have planned. Hang on.
Tanzanite's being classist again.
These poor people.
These
Ugh.
damn poor people are
So this is a
useless.
willpower, so it's just a flat roll.
It's a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, wisdom save. That's a 19.
The plate of the puffed treat gets passed in front of you, and it's only the red pieces left, and you're able to resist the desire to scoop up a handful of them if you so choose. You choose to, or you choose not to?
I choose to avoid.
Okay. And as that comes out, additional food is coming out and things are being shared around, and you're kind of, I'm going to leave Trixie and Tanzanite alone with your crew of young people. Asher, you're sitting there with the, yes, Trixie?
Real fast. Young people, are they our age young or younger young?
Your age young.
Okay.
I mean, there might be a couple that are a little bit younger than you, but there's a range of like late teens and early 20s. Nobody is older or like immature young.
Right. Perfect.
I think even like in the course of this, you might even have conversation that talks around how very few of the very young survived and very few of the very old survived, although more of the very old survived than of the adult age.
Perfect. Thank you.
Asher, you're sitting there. They're playing the games. They're ready to go again.
Okay.
They start going for the first bet. Are you having any conversation as they're going for the first bet?
My next bet, I'll take out a piece of paper and write down magical hair washing.
They all are so curious that they definitely accept that. Can you roll a D10?
2.
Oh, short trip this trip. They start like telling the story again and goofing off and goofing around. Well, since you might have the most value here, do you want to be the boat captain?
Sure.
All right, you roll first.
I rolled an 8. Hold
we're all
on to
staying on
my
this
ship.
boat. That's so
It shouldn't
easy.
be
And they
that
all
hard.
do their rolls. One goes, oh, I barely held on. I only got a 9. The next one rolls and says, perfectly fine. I rolled an 8. I barely made it. And they're just like having the jokes and their laughter and everything. And then the last one goes and goes, I stubbed my toe on the boat and fell off. I rolled a 4. They're going back and forth. And then there's another round of putting things in. The eggs ended up back on the table. One of the massages had ended up back on the table, and now in the second round and such, they're trying to keep up with what you put down, so they throw out one of them scrabbles down really quickly, a list of what looks like various plant names of some sort, and shows the others that are very much agreeable, and then they show it to you, and you see a whole list of plants that you've never heard of. Do you accept it as a...
Yeah.
They plop it in. The next person... So then there's only 2 of them left, so that the next person puts in a cloak of some sort, and you can kind of see white eyes from one of them. All right. You're the captain. Start our boat off.
Oh no, I rolled on that 1.
Easiest trip ever. We're fine.
Off the boat I go. I'm a
You
bad
see
driver.
both of them just start immediately pulling all the things off, and one of them, they both look at you like, well, what's this magical hair washing thing?
Are you cashing in?
Yeah, this is exciting.
All right, and I'll go like around behind him. Is he wearing a hat or anything?
They both have like little floppy style hats.
So I'll like clear their hair, like take the hat off or whatever, and then just like press to digitate their hair clean. Like
there's this little cloud as the sound goes on. One of them, like little bugs, just fly off and off into the distance. The individual from the place where he said that they floated on moss, and the other person, you see a lot of just dust and mud that's kind of been caked around under the ears and everything, just all clear off. Oh, that's the cleanest I've ever been. I should have saved that for my wife. And the other person just kind of looks sad at that moment when they said wife, and they're just like having this little moment of like, yeah, if she were still around, I'd have my wife take that. And they're having that little fun, jovial, but also a little bit sad conversation with each other as they enjoy your ministrations. Oh, we got to play another game of takeaway with you or something next. The person who's not getting the hair cleaning is just like watching stuff come off, and just like you can see them kind of gag a little bit as they realize how filthy they all are.
all right, I'm gonna sit down when I'm done and say, what else? What are we playing now?
Oh, do you want to play takeaway? We can play takeaway.
Sure.
All right, so easy game for us to play. All we have to do is get what you roll on your percentile die down to 0, exactly 0. We take turns on this. So they ask you to roll your percentile die.
Do we bet again?
They are not betting yet. They're waiting for you to roll your percentile die.
Percentile out of like a D100?
Yeah, your D100.
Where did you go, D100?
How do you lose something that big?
I didn't.
I was going to say.
26.
Okay. Like, oh, this is going to be a short game, but intense game. And you hear them say, okay, round 1, we all get a chance to go. Goal is to get to exactly 0. You can roll whatever you want. And they kind of like show off their array of dice. But you have to get to 0. If you go below 0, you're out. If your roll would get you below 0, you're out. So you lose your bet. If you're not down to 0, we get another round. And you can see that they're all getting ready. And the first person is right next to you to your left, and they pull out their biggest dice as a D20. You're like, well, I may not be able to win this round, but I'm going to mess you all up. And then their face just falls as they put down their bet right before they rolled. Their face just falls as they roll a 1. It's like, well, I guess that's 25 now. Waste of a turn.
Okay, I'm going to take a piece of paper. I'm going to write down an epic tale in verse. And I'm going to put it on the table.
Ooh.
Okay. So you can roll any dice you want to reduce that number down to 0.
I got a 2.
Like everybody's like looking really intent right now as the number now has hit 23, and you're just like, oh.
So we're collectively working to bring the number down.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The next person goes, and they are like, this is going too slow, and so they roll another of the big dice.
Please be a 3. I just want to count our way up.
They just went down to 18. It just went down to 18 as they roll 5.
Oh!
Yeah. Okay. And then the last person takes their turn, and they're like, I want to see how long this goes. We got to sweeten the pot. And so they take out their smallest dice, and they roll that, and they roll a 1, bringing it down to 17. But you can already see in the pot are quite a few different things, and now it's the next round of adding something. So that person who went right before you again is like, you're right. We got to sweeten the pot, and they roll their dice, and it's a D8, and they roll an 8, and everybody just gasps for a second, and they all look at you like,
What are we down to?
So now you're down to 9.
I'll say any item you want for 3 hours.
Hmm.
Any physical item you want for 3 hours.
Okay.
Three.
Okay, so now we're down to 5. The next person, you can see him kind of like panicking, but then he picks up his D8 dice anyways. It's like, come on, be good. Brings it down to 1. Everybody at the table just looks.
Obviously, I should get my
really
dice from 2
nervous.
weeks ago and just roll a D20 then.
The next one takes a D4 and rolls it, and they're out as they put their cloak back into the pile, and then they realize that they roll, and they're like, oh, good luck. And then it goes to the person right before you. They also roll their D4. Oh, I'm out. Now it's you.
Does that mean I won, or do they all go again if I don't get it?
The 2 people who are out.
I rolled a 3. I'm out.
The last person's there, like, okay, well, I could save us all, or I could win it all right now. You all get back your bets, or I get it all. And he pulls out his D4 dice, shakes it really hard. I want to roll a different version of it because that was ridiculous. And as he's pulling out his D4, as he's pulling it out and getting ready to roll, the other 3 at the table, or the other 2 at the table, say, we'll put in if you roll your 20. And they both like hold up various slips of paper, and they look at you to see if you'll hold up another slip of paper.
What else I got? I will repair 1 physical object.
He takes his, he's convinced, and he takes his D20 and he rolls it. I'm out. And everybody gets back their various things that they put into the bet as he rolled a 16. So they continue playing that game, conversing. Is there anything you're trying to find out from them as you're having conversations?
So, where are y'all from?
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check with advantage because, why am I even having you do this? Yes. Roll a persuasion check with advantage, and we'll see how much information you get out of them that I might
With
summarize.
advantage. Oh, boy. Good thing it was advantage because one of them's in that one.
Well,
It wasn't even that good for me. 23.
Was it good for you?
They are verbose and they're varied answers. You do get a little bit of information around, all of this will require comparing notes with your companions later. You get a little bit of information around the door that led to the desert space, and there only being the lizard person living there at this point. Most of the other people at that door have taken advantage of this space to find new homes.
Okay.
But
Just so you
he
know,
remains
Asher is going
behind
to keep
'cause-
betting his epic tale in verse just until he loses it. So he has to do it because he wants to perform for people because he's Asher.
Yeah, and as
Also, I spent the time to write one, so now I want to read it.
Nice. Why don't we just do a D20 off to see if you're able to win? You want to roll low.
8.
Yep, you won. They all rolled higher than you, so you are the winner of another round of bets. You've got a new cloak.
Hey.
Ooh.
You've got a note worth 4 dozen eggs.
Hey.
Whatever value that is to you. And you have a small looking coin of an undetermined origin, but apparently of interest. So you go bet again with them, again rolling low.
Sure.
Just, okay.
6.
Oh, we got to do rollies.
16.
12. So you lose that bet.
I lose.
You
Take
see
my
things-
epic poem.
You're offering an epic poem.
Mm-hmm.
On winning that, these very limited but connected communities of very small populations, the winner announces, "Oh, we've got a story poem. We've got a storyteller." Trixie and Tanzanite, you've heard all these types of things from Asher before. This is not necessarily appealing to you, but you're impressed with how quickly the entire space, including the young couple over in the corner making flirty eyes at each other, go quiet and turn to look. These are folks who are entertainment starved.
I lean over to Tanzanite. I said, well, this could either be really good for him or really bad.
Acclaim in multiple lands across the world, or derision across the world.
Right,
Or I roll
exactly.
a nat 1. All right. Asher's going to stand up. Is there room to like jump up on the table without like knocking shit everywhere? Or is there a stage or
anything you want? They are willing to do. They if you look like you're even thinking of climbing up on the table, they start clearing things away. There's no like stage necessarily until you start to think it, and then you realize in the corner there is a little platform that you could stand on.
All right,
How
I will go over
convenient.
to the stage.
Yeah. And even as you go over there, it
This
feels like
tavern of
there's
requirement is fun.
the lighting and everything adjusts suddenly, and the tavern as a whole seems to get slightly dimmer, except for this corner that you're standing in.
And the spotlight turns on.
Is the tavern of requirement?
Actually, I'm going to light up like a fixture on the ceiling with the light cantrip to be a spotlight onto me if I can do it.
Oh,
And I'll
man.
say, once upon a time, 3 brave young adventurers set out on a quest. A long tradition, once in a generation, a young group sets forth an important quest that could change Atlan for good. Behold an ice wall, a wall between worlds, dividing lake from ocean, people from people. Our adventurers enter the great dam of ice, asked to preserve it. Inside, monsters resist. They battle to dam's center, where a choice they find: preserve the ice dam or tear the ice dam straight down, reunite the worlds. Strange people within ask our heroes to be free, to make the hard choice. Alas, Heroes 3, tear down the hateful ice dam, worlds apart no more, joining sea and lake, disparate worlds together, joining land and water. Thus our heroes go into the world together, afraid to go home. A home now changed for better or worse. Who knows? They do not yet know. What lies ahead? Tears in time, evil dragons, fear, pain, strife, hope, love. The end.
There is definitely cheering. I want you to roll a performance check, but then I want you to roll an insight check because I need to get the combination of what happens to you.
26 on performance.
Okay.
And 12 on insight.
The crowd to you, Tanzanite and Trixie, seems totally into this storytelling and they've really enjoyed it. And you actually, like, as you realize what the story is about, it's kind of like, oh, that's our story.
Yeah.
And you're into it. But you can see on Asher's face after the performance that he doesn't realize how it went over. He's uncertain if he was successful, and he still has that performer's anxiety about whether or not that impacted in a positive way or not. And you can see that in his affect. And it seems like many in the tavern can as well, because they keep coming up to pat him on the back and cheer him, but you can see that he's not quite reading the empathy as support. Rather, maybe he's reading it as condolences or pity.
I'm gonna stand up and walk over to him and say, "That was very lovely," and give him a kiss on the cheek.
I am going to turn bright red and say, "Thank you."
And I'll also lead in and go, "Everyone here thinks you are wonderful." And go back to Trixie.
I'm
As she leaves, I'll be like, "I think you're wonderful." Damn it, too late.
I'm sweaty.
Is that Jess or Tanzanite?
I think Jessica is. I'm not sure.
How you doing?
Spell broken.
Yeah, as Tanzanite's walking back, Trixie would have done 3 cheers for Asher. Hip hip.
Hurrah!
Not knowing
the
if
crowd
like
just
yeah.
gets into it. They like it. They not many of them know exactly what that tradition is, but enough do that they get picked up pretty quickly by the rest of the folks, and they're all cheering and having that wonderful moment of joy and happiness. All right. The night wears on. If there's anything else that you want to discover before the night comes to a close and you go to bed, please let me know. Other things you would have gotten up to in the inn.
Not necessarily like in a mischievous way, more in like a curious way. I would have tried to like find / sneak into the kitchens.
Oh yeah.
Because I knew. Well, you said that a door appeared for him, and I wasn't sure if it was still there or like.
It is the door that Jess went through that she showed you the sheep through.
Oh, that's wait, that's where the kitchen is?
No, that the kitchen appeared for him.
Oh, okay.
And it's still there, so you can go into that space.
Okay. I thought the kitchen door appeared.
No, the whole space behind the baked goodies counter.
Yeah.
Which is like now at an all-time low. There's like a chocolate croissant, and that's it.
Croissant. But yeah, I would have I would have tried to like tiptoe in and just kind of like observed, like just to kind of either pick up on like cooking tips or, you know, see if there's ingredients that I've never seen before that, you know,
Roll a stealth check to see how
okay.
sneaky you are.
How sneaky I am not.
Nice.
13.
Yeah, with a 13, you slip in and you remain unobserved for quite a while, and you're able to kind of see what's happening, and you kind of make out generally what and how this person is cooking. You can see some of those green stalks. They're slimy and they smell of the ocean. You can see some of those are left. You can see some like rinds of the fruits that have gone out, and the big vat of stew is continuing to be made.
I'm gonna kind of like sorry.
No worries, just startled me. I'm in my zone.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know. It's my zone.
I get it. I'm just a fan. I like food and stuff like that, so I just kind of wanted to pop in and see.
Yeah. Come on, here. I'll show you how I make this next meal. I'm preparing for tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what this is? And he holds up a sprig of some sort of plant.
No. Let's. So, how do I put this? My upbringing had a very limited palate, so you can pretty much assume that I don't know what any of this is, unless it is a very common type of nut.
Oh, well, this is related to a nut. This is acorn sproutings.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know what an acorn is, but I've never had acorn sproutings.
Yeah, when you get an acorn, if you stick it in a nice little vat of water, and the first little trimming that comes up before it builds up that calcium or whatever it is that those plants get, I don't know. I've never played with them very much, but it becomes apparently a tree in some places, but not where I'm from. And
that's basically what I grew up in.
You grew up in one of those little things, and he pulls the piece of the plant, and you can see it's like the earliest form of an acorn tree's life. It is like the little green shoot.
Well, I mean that, but like 50 to 75 feet tall. And with a very rough exterior and lots of branches, and you know, it can hold a lot of weight and yeah.
Where? Well, I got these from the folks that live above the trees, and
yeah, we don't come from the same place. They have a thing where their roots die. That's not where we're from. That doesn't exist. So
oh, you mean apparently their trees eat everything through their roots and rip it all up and tear everything apart. And
that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, well, when I don't even know what a tree looks like. I don't want to go through. And you can see him look at all the doors with suspicion.
I think I would have a sketch, would I not? Of like a tree, or actually no, don't I have like carved into
in your shovel?
Yeah.
On the handle.
So I like it basically kind of like looks like one. So I'm going to show him. I'm like, so kind of like this, but depending on what kind it is. This part's like a dark brown and usually has like a very like kind of rough skin that you can peel off, but you shouldn't because it'll protect
it. No good for eating.
Yes, I guess it depends. Yes. Yeah.
Don't want these grow too big.
And then the leaves are up top, and the branches, and that's like where we would live. And then the roots go underground, but the roots don't eat and tear. They get their nutrients through dirt and water, and then also through the sunlight that and goes on their leaves.
He pulls out like a sand-created glass ornament-looking thing that has an acorn resting on top and a root going straight down. You can see the root is wiggling. And there's a little sprout sticking up from the top, and that root is just still wiggling around. It's like this?
Is that one of the seeds of the trees from where that guy's from?
Yeah, that's what you can infer from it.
Well, minus the wiggling bottom part. It's not alive like that. It's stationary and it's not aggressive.
See, I thought these were, and he's like holding it up, staring at the glass. I thought these might be related to sandworms, but apparently they're not. They're related to your holding still versions of things.
Maybe it's a little bit of both, because it certainly looks like one of our things, but our things don't do they don't do that.
And they're like, it's like wiggling around, and you can see like it's just very. It's creepy to see something you're used to not ever moving, actively moving.
Yeah.
And then he just trims off the top of it, the little fresh green sprig, and you can see the root go still for a second, and then it starts wiggling slowly again, eventually creating more momentum as you can see almost ridiculously fast another new little sprout coming out. Well, they're productive, if nothing else.
Yes, they are, concerningly so. I'm glad that one is contained.
Oh yeah, I dropped one the other day, but I didn't survive.
What a shame.
Yeah, the sheep ate it.
That reminds me, did you make any of the stew without any lamb?
No, I mean, it's such a hearty, tasty, delicious thing. Did you want one without the? I can cook some vegetables up for you.
It's okay. I had the little puff things. Those were very nice.
Yeah, the people who apparently live by an ocean, they pull it up out of the ocean all the time, and I didn't know what to do with it at first. They had me fry it, and that was awful. They had me bake it, which wasn't terrible. But this is fun. I use this actually with some of the grains that are from my area of the world. And he kind of pops open a drawer, and in that drawer is what you and I would recognize as popcorn.
Oh.
Can I? Wait, is it popped popcorn or is it corn kernels? Can I try?
Oh yeah, nobody else here seems to like it. They say it's too light and fluffy.
I don't think there's such a thing. As she considers herself light and fluffy. So she grabs a piece and tosses it in her mouth.
It isn't as you expect, as you and I would expect a piece of popcorn. It has a caramel flavor. It's very obviously like the thing that he cooks it in has become coated with various sugars from other grains and stuff like that, and it's caramelized a bit. So it's got like a faint sweetness to it.
Ooh, this is very nice. They're missing out.
Yeah, well, teach their own. I mean, you don't like the lamb, so.
This is true. Do you, well, as a thank you for letting me, hang out with you, do you have maple syrup where you're from?
I've never heard of this. Maple syrup.
I take out my jug and I pull off the stopper, and there's like a little bit on the stopper, and I go, give me your stick out your pinky. And I like dab.
His face gets big.
Right?
Oh.
Right? And I put the stopper on, and I just hand him the jug, and I'm like, I can make more. You take this.
He immediately begins like jotting down notes. You can smell something is getting a little burnt.
Hey, dude.
Yeah. Oh, you can handle it. No problem. He keeps jotting notes.
I'm gonna like slowly walk over to whatever's burning and like stare at it, kind of assess the situation.
You look down and you see like a whole bunch of different vegetables that seem to be slowly getting blackened on one side between the conversation and just.
I'm. Are they in pans? Are they on a like?
They're. It's on like a sheet of stone.
Okay. Is there like a what I would know as a spatula?
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of accoutrements around.
I'm going to pick up something that looks like that can flip it and start like trying to flip them.
Can you roll a survival check?
Sure.
Just to see what sort of kitchen
I'm
hand you are.
curious to see. Ooh, survival. Ooh, 13?
Yeah, with a 13, you're keeping it from burning. Like you are in control of the stove at this moment, and things are going well.
It's a roasted red pepper.
There's a little blistering.
Charred. I believe the term is charred.
A little blistering is occurring, but it's not bad. I mean, it's just basic cooking. And he kind of just starts directing you around the kitchen after that, and you end up spending a little bit of the rest of the time just kind of like spend a little bit of the rest of the time just kind of following what he's doing, and he's cooking through you, preparing something for the next day, which at this point is very much the vegetarian option because he's not cooking any meats with you there.
Nice.
Anything else anybody else is up to or doing, or?
You're muted.
Hi, I'm back. Asher's got his mandolin out over the stage.
Oh no.
Nice.
Play a little song.
Okay.
It goes a little something like this.
Oh my god, what?
We killed the magic dragon and its dragonlings too. Stood right in the poison mist when we should have withdrew. I turned into a dinosaur and tore into its neck. Trixie ran up on its back, gave its spinal cord heck. Tanzanite was waiting for a moment true. It came along quite soon enough, and off its head she blew. Oh, we'll snuff a magic dragon any chance we get. If we rise up together, we will win, you bet.
There's cheering, and there's...
Oh, the cheers! That was so amazing!
They not won to their insight check, so they have no idea if this is a real story or a false story. But there's all sorts of conversation. Trixie and Tanzanite. Well, Trixie's in the kitchen, so Trixie doesn't get quite hit up. But Tanzanite, you're like kind of dealing with all the questions as Asher. You're dealing with everybody asking you more, and that that right there is like nat 20 without having to roll. But you're dealing with all the people asking for more, and the evening continues on, and eventually people start heading out their doors to their various locations. And unless there's anything else, you can head upstairs to
I
bed.
do want to talk to Bettany and ask her if Lids and Liars can send bards through here now and then to entertain the crowds.
I think you easily have that conversation with all the goodwill you've established. She is very open to sharing information. She says there's one caveat. They have to have permission from the proprietress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would talk to her. Will she be here in the morning?
Oh, you don't need to talk to her. They need to taste a cookie.
Gotcha. Wait, what's with the cookies?
Well, it's her way of giving you permission. Like, I realized that your friend hasn't eaten any of the cookies yet, but it's just how she makes sure that everybody's safe and treats each other well.
Gotcha. Okay.
I had the lamb stew.
All right. Can I take some cookies with me?
Oh,
Give to my bards and.
sure. There'll be more in the morning. There's none left now, but there'll be more in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. Enjoy. Good night. I'm gonna leave. So
Bye.
and she just
Okay,
opens the door and
bye.
it closes behind her.
And now we are alone
Larissa
again.
lost it.
Yes, it's just the three of you in the space. And it's almost like as each group leaves, the things that they were centered around seem to just like fade from your consciousness. And then when you look back, they're not there. The little booth in the corner for the kissy-eyed couple is gone. The gambling table is gone. There's still the nice long countertop with cookies and baked goods on it. There's still the comfortable couches and blankets and stuff. And now there's a set of stairs leading upstairs. But there's no more kitchen either.
I'm going to go up and look for empty rooms.
Yeah, you go
I go
upstairs
up
and
too.
you see 4 doors going off into different directions. Each door that you open is a different room. Yeah, you're easily able to-
Tanzanite finds the biggest room and claims it as her own.
going up, and just with the purpose of finding the biggest room, each room seems very large to you. And it's an impossible choice. Which one is the biggest?
Oh no, did I take the farthest to the left?
So, and Trixie and Asher, as you go up, you find rooms of what you would expect
I'll
to
say,
go for.
I'm going to ask Tanzanite to message either Asher's mom or the captain to see if they're still there, because that would be probably our next, just so you don't waste a spell slot the second we get up.
Oh, you're very smart. Okay, so I will call your mother. What am I saying?
Ask if the boat is still at the place where we fought the dragon.
Okay. Put my hand to my forehead, stone, and I go.
And maybe warn them about the red dragon.
Okay. I think of Asher's mom, and I go, "Hello, it's Tanzanite. Beware of red dragon. Also, are you still in the same place? We will head to you in the morning. Okay, bye!"
There's a moment of just a pause, and pretty much unaware of the limits of this magic. She goes, "Oh, are you all okay? How is it going? I heard that the swamp was a little rough. There's some sort of fire burning, but it seems to be going out. It's off in the distance, really far away." You get the sense that she continued to talk after she got disconnected.
Excuse me. She didn't. I still have one more spell slot, I think. Let me look. Let me call her back.
Let me text her again.
Let me try again. I'm gonna go. Hello. Limited words. So are you in the same spot? We are fine. Tired, but fine. If in same spot, see you soon. Okay, bye.
You get another response is, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to I just don't know how these things always work. We're here. Don't worry. Anything we should be aware?"
All right, she's in the same spot. I'll see you in the morning. And I shut the door and go to bed. And I reopen it and I go, "Good night, Trixie." Shut the door. I open it again and I go, "You really did do a good job. Okay, bye." And I close it again.
Trixie kind of walks over to a door and like puts her hand on the thing, and then like kind of realizes that this is the first time she'll be like sleeping alone, essentially, at least like voluntarily. So she's a little, "Hey, Asher, if I grab like a pillow and a blanket, can I come sleep in your room?
Okay.
Okay. And I go in and I
I
grab.
didn't even think once about it. Just like,
Obviously, I should take this large bed and go to sleep alone.
I go grab the
As
blanket and
befits
pillow
my
off the bed,
station.
and I just kind of like curl up, like I'm assuming there's a rug or something, or maybe even like a chair. But
As you even have those thoughts about what you're going to see, there's a
Immaterial.
lounger
yeah.
covered in a rug.
Aw.
So I do what I did earlier, and I burrito myself in, and then I curl up on the chair.
All right. So,
Asher's going to knock on Tanzine's door real quick.
Okay.
It does not open. You just hear a what?
I'm going to stick my head in. Can I kiss you goodnight?
Yeah. Oh, who? Boy, who do you think you are? I will say this is a boost of your ego from your earlier escapades. You're cute, but you make me shine. And I shut the door. And she's just like,
On the other side of the
very
door, I'm going to be
much
like,
excited, but like,
on the other side of the door, I'm
she's
going to
a
be like, okay,
young
but
girl.
that
She
wasn't a
doesn't
no.
know.
Okay, bye.
It's the what is it called? August waters. When you work at a summer camp, by August, everybody you thought was awful in June is suddenly much more attractive by August.
Oh yes. Enemies to lovers trope.
She like runs to her bed, screams on a pillow of excitement.
All right, and I think that's where we're going to call this today. You will start off in a magical space next time we play. Hope you have thoughts about what you want to do and say, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But thank you all for joining us as we spend a whole session inside of a tavern, kind of, sort of.
Join us next time as we're on a boat. With our
Next
favorite
time
guys.
we'll be in a different room.
You wake up and you're all outside in the middle of the swamp.
The next session is just all us hanging out playing cards in one room together for 2 or 3 hours.
Oh god.
I guess I'll have enough dice games to make that work.
Campaign 1 goes for 9 years because we just stopped at every
Hang
place
out.
for 6 months.
Oh, don't give people a safe place. Bad idea. All right. Thank you all very much for joining us. Hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Oh, bananas. I did it backwards again.
Oh.